He was charming. He was funny. He made people laugh. And while they laughed, he killed 300,000 people. This is Idi Amin, Uganda's monster, the man who taught the world that evil doesn't look like evil. It looks like your favorite uncle. In 1971, Idi Amin seized power in a military coup. Tall, muscular, charismatic, a former heavyweight boxer who carried himself with complete confidence. People initially loved him. He seemed like the opposite of the socialist president he'd overthrown. Uganda was finally changing, they thought, finally improving. But within months, everything collapsed into hell. Amin declared himself His Excellency, President for Life, Field Marshal Al-Haji Dr. Idi Amin Dada, conqueror of the British Empire in Africa. He awarded himself medals he'd never earned. He gave himself a doctorate in law. He claimed to be the uncrowned king of Scotland. His narcissism was almost cartoonish, almost laughable. But while his propaganda made him a joke in the West, his secret police were torturing people to death in chambers underground. The State Research Bureau, his personal death squad. According to Amnesty International, between 100,000 and 500,000 people were killed during his 8-year rule. Some estimates put it at 300,000. The victims weren't always political opponents. They were intellectuals, judges, lawyers, doctors, priests, teachers, entire ethnic groups that Amin decided were problems. He targeted the Acholi. He targeted the Lango. He targeted anyone who looked at him wrong. In 1972, Amin ordered the expulsion of 60,000 Asians. He gave them 90 days to leave Uganda. He claimed God told him to do it in a dream. He called them bloodsuckers and said they were sabotaging the economy. The soldiers seized their businesses, their homes, their life savings, and then the Asians were gone. Their wealth transferred to Amin's supporters, who immediately ran those businesses into the ground through incompetence. But here's what made Amin different from other dictators. He was funny. He made jokes. He was charming in person. People who met him reported being shocked by how personable he was, how well he could laugh at himself, how he seemed almost human. He told journalists that he wanted to marry Princess Anne of England, that he wanted to buy Scotland. He gave interviews where he praised Adolf Hitler and expressed anti-Semitic hatred. Yet these statements were so absurd, so over the top, that Western media often treated him as a comic figure, a buffoon, a madman to be laughed at rather than feared. That was the trap. That was the genius of his horror. While cameras focused on his bizarre pronouncements, his torture chambers continued operating. While comedians made him the subject of Saturday Night Live sketches, thousands of Ugandans were being disappeared, their bodies dumped in the Nile River. Some people say Amin kept the severed heads of political enemies in his freezer. He laughed when asked about it, said human flesh was too salty for his taste. The charming exterior was a weapon. His eccentricity made him seem less dangerous, made people underestimate him, made Western governments reluctant to condemn him too harshly because, after all, he was just a quirky strongman. Not a real threat, not truly evil, but he was evil. Pure, calculated evil wrapped in charisma. Finally, in 1979, Amin invaded Tanzania. It was the one action his regional neighbors couldn't tolerate. The Tanzanian army invaded back. Amin's military collapsed. He fled, first to Libya, then to Saudi Arabia, where the Saudi government gave him asylum and paid him generously to stay out of politics. He lived in Saudi Arabia for 24 years. When asked if he had any regrets about his time as dictator, he smiled and said, "Only nostalgia, no remorse, no guilt, no understanding of what he'd done. Just nostalgia for the power, the fear, the worship of a nation too terrified to disobey." Idi Amin died in 2003 in Saudi Arabia, never apologizing, never facing justice, never held accountable by the international community. And here's the lesson history is screaming at us. The most dangerous evil isn't the obvious tyrant who looks like a monster. It's the charismatic one, the one who makes you laugh, the one who seems charming, the one you almost like. That's when evil wins. That's when it kills 300,000 people while the world watches, entertained, not realizing they're witnessing genocide on stage. Remember this, because there's always another Amin out there, waiting, smiling, getting ready to destroy everything while everyone's still laughing at the joke.